after show, fans of Survivor. I am here with Bobby Goodsby, Wayne Memmott. Jonny Fairplay is on his way on an Amtrak train to Florida for the charity event, formerly Give Kids the World, which I've been to in the past. Yeah. So him and George are on the way there. So we are holding it down, and I will say, first take, this is the best episode since the food auction episode. We've had a couple episodes in between that were kind of predictable and like, okay, that makes sense. But tonight's episode, I was loving it and texting people afterwards because, like, there's a lot of plans that always ensue like that, oh, this would be a good idea, and they never come to fruition. And the plan tonight that actually worked was amazing. I was just like, this is something else. What's your first take, you guys?
Man, I feel like I spend most of my time saying how great the producers and the whole editing of this show has done. But man, this episode was edited so well. It was like the perfect Survivor episode. I really think it was probably the perfect Survivor episode, even down to the point when all idols and advantages have been talked about being in play. They could have, and some would say should have been in play, and then they were not in play. And it was like, whoa, all right. Yeah, it was way cool.
Real quick, I want to give a quick cheers to you boys. Cheers to you guys. Let's enjoy this night. Let's enjoy Survivor.
First Christmas sale of the season.
There we go. So I want to say this reminded me of the reason I fell in love with Survivor to begin with. Like, this episode could have been so cut and dry, easy outs. We're going to knock out Genevieve. We're going to knock out Sam, and just another boring season, coming down the stretch. And then we'll find out what happens at the end. And, people like an Andy, they can go with the grain. They can go and do the safe choice to just kind of play it out. We've seen it year after year, especially in the new era, where people do the safe thing just to get further in the game and then end up being a final three goat. Andy, for all his flaws, was like, fuck that. I'm going big or I'm going home. I got to do something. Let's go. Let's roll with it. And for all the miracles that had to happen, I feel like Andy, of all people of any season, has a guardian angel on his shoulder, because we've seen it all season long where stuff goes completely wrong and then completely right for Andy in the most crazy situations.
Does that mean he wins? Because every person on the jury does not like Andy. And now that he's done this, every person that he sends to the jury is not going to like Andy. But Andy is in the best position. If he takes Sam and Genevieve to the final three, then there's no reason why Andy wouldn't win. As long as Rachel doesn't make it, Andy has a legitimate reason why he should win this game.
If Andy wins the game, I honestly, I would not be bummed. I would be happy. Jonny Fairplay from day one, when we saw Andy be real awkward, the first few episodes, and Johnny's like, dude, I bet you money the next episode he's going to come back and say, that was all an act. Me getting bummed that no one was giving me props for chopping the coconut. It's going to be all an act. I was like, there's no way. This guy's just totally an idiot. But I tell you what, tonight's episode, I've been saying this for weeks. Andy, each and every week, is becoming more and more lovable. And in addition to that, these players, I know big people like Rome are gone. And even King George said, oh, there's a lot of, vanilla or whatever he said, bland
passengers.
Players. Yeah, passengers. That's what it was. I disagree, dude. Teeny, I adore her, and I loved everything Teeny was all about this episode. Genevieve, showing the battle between gameplay and real life and emotion and non-emotion. Love it. I love all these people. And if Andy wins, I'm going to be totally stoked. Shout out to Andy's mom. Shout out to Teeny's mom. But, dude, this season, for me personally, podcasting about it, and I'm assuming the viewers that watch the show are feeling the same way. This is the best New Era season that we've gotten, dude.
Yeah.
They're playing straight Survivor. And going into this 2-part season finale, which I just want to mention, the Cincinnati, Ohio viewing party event that was going to be at the Filson 1 week from tonight is canceled due to scheduling conflicts, etc. So if you were planning on going, we are not doing it. Maybe something down the road in the future, but do not show up at the Filson in Cincinnati for a viewing party because none of us will be there. Johnny's not coming to town.
No, Matt, what are we going to do instead?
Yeah, well, instead, no,
I'm just kidding.
I love it.
That's the week after. That's the week after we might go see Zach Wilde.
Yes, exactly. But we're here. Look, it's episode 12. Holy shit! Kyle is gone. The challenge beast. He is out of here. It's night 20. Sue is on top of the world because Kyle is gone. And Sam was like, look, Kyle was a useful shield to me because he's winning all these immunities, and the second best immunity threat challenge person, I would assume, would be Sam, right? He's an athletic kind of guy. I haven't really seen dominance on his part. We've seen Rachel win a lot of immunities. But Kyle being gone may not be the greatest for Sam's game, but I'm glad Kyle's gone. I think he was fun to watch and nice guy, but I'm ready to kind of see what goes on from here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kyle was nice and fun and all that, but I don't think you're like added a ton to the like, if Kyle had been here this episode as opposed to, I don't know, Teeny or whatever, I don't think it would have made this episode better. I don't know that it would have made it worse, but I don't, yeah.
If we would have had Kyle there instead of Teeny, and let's just say Teeny's not there, we wouldn't get that great Teeny moment of Teeny throwing a fit, basically, that she didn't get picked. Kyle would be like, I understand, man. It's fine. Like, I get it. I probably didn't even do his accent.
Are we there? Oh, we're not there yet. All right. Yeah, we're not there yet. Sorry, I have a lot of feelings on that. We can save them for when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Sam knows that him and Genevieve are in a tight spot. And that's why this episode was so great when you have two people that are like, oh God, this is probably our final episode of this. One of us is going to get voted out and things change. That's why you can never give up in Survivor. But then we go, that's kind of the previously on Survivor. Then we show the intros, and then it's day 21. Sue and Caroline are tight. They are thick as thieves in an alliance. It's Sue's number one. I mean, Sue, from what I've read online this week, it was like, this is the most like unlikable player of this season, and it was Sue. Do you guys have a major problem with Sue as a player?
No. Sue definitely is giving me vibes of like a player that's very emotional with like how she wants to play the game. But at the same time, I've been saying for weeks, I think Sue's winning it all. Now, I have no fucking idea how she does it, but I gotta stick with what I said, right? I'm saying Sue's still gonna win it all. I mean, my heart wants Andy to win, but my logic a couple weeks ago was all about Sue, and I don't know how she does it. Because looking at who she could sit next to now, unless people are pissed off at someone or she does something insane with her idol, I don't fucking know how she wins this.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of like, Sue's just like happy to see everybody have fun. This week, at least this episode, it kind of explained why she's always so dirty, because she's the one like building the fire and like like cutting everything. There's like carving out coconuts.
It bothers me seeing her so dirty. Like, it makes me feel gross.
And then she goes to Caroline and is like, hey, you have like some dirt on your cheek. As she looks like she's been eating mud pies for 2 weeks, dude. Oh, I love it.
Like, there's an ocean right there. Can't you just run and jump in the ocean and rinse off for a second?
Dude, first of all, when I played Survivor, you're filthy. Your teeth feel gross because you're not brushing them. And dude, I would always go in the ocean and just take the salt water and the sand and just like wipe my arms and my fucking balls.
Yeah.
And my face with the salt water, just trying to
in that order. In that order. In that order.
Same sand.
Same sand.
but dude, same sand. But yeah, I would. Yeah, I just want to like put my hand through my TV screen and like scrub her with like a scrub brush.
Yes, it bothers me because it's like, you don't have to be that dirty, right? Like, I mean, I get it. They're all dirty. You look at all of them. They all got like black nails and all that stuff. But like, she's covered. Like, I want someone to just be like, hey, Sue, why don't you just go take a dip in the ocean for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Dude, she's waiting for the glow up of when she she goes from Survivor. No, when she goes to the jury and she goes to Ponderosa and she comes back and she's like, see, I told you I'm 45 years old.
Oh my God. Oh shit,
man.
Dude.
No, I like Sue a lot. I like the game that she's playing. It's an old school game that she's playing. Yes. This protector role. We've also seen people like this in the past, and if I was more encyclopedic about it, I could pull up their names and tell you. But we've seen the story before where someone loses their number one, and it motivates them to play the game. You know, my favorite failed example of it is Juicy from Australian Survivor when his daughter, Blood versus Water, when his daughter got voted out, and he tried to make one big move, and he got fucking swatted down, and he just like got it. But like that kind of thing, we're like, oh, like, Caroline's gone. I don't have anybody to protect. Like and she somehow finagles her way and plays the idol the right way. And, you know, maybe she flips and whatever. And, you can see, I don't think she has it in her to do it, but you've seen people do it. So we also didn't think Sue had it in her to make it this far. I cannot believe she didn't play her idol. I cannot. That's the one thing that doesn't follow the game that she's been playing. Her game is contingent on her and Caroline as this voting block, and she didn't save the voting block.
I think if Genevieve plays her idol, then she plays the idol for Caroline. I think that they were waiting to see what Genevieve did. And when I think Sam played it perfectly too, when he's like, Genevieve, play it. And she's like, no, I think we're good. I think that was like, to them, to the others, I feel like they were like, okay, we're good. They're thinking they have the votes. We're fine. We don't need to play anything. And I think that was masterclass on their part.
But what's not masterclass on the other people's part is Andy positioned himself in between Genevieve and Sam and made them look like they were voting together this whole time. And not one of the other four was like, why is he sitting like that? You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't dawn on anybody. I don't know. Cause he was pushing, they showed 6 different times that he's like pushing split the vote. And Matt, you've played Survivor. If you keep hearing the same thing from somebody, you're like, why do they want to do that?
Well, to me, it would be a total red flag if I'm the 4 that are not on the reward challenge. When Andy comes back and Andy is kind of pushing an agenda, I would be like, look, Andy was just with these people. Whatever Andy's agenda is, let's not do that. So they all fell for it. Which I'm surprised because I feel like there's such savvy game players this season. Yeah. Everyone is here to play the game. Everyone is strategic, with the exception of like Kyle or something. But I would not have believed Andy for a fucking second.
I'm honestly surprised Andy didn't come back, and they're just like, well, Andy's the unknown now. Why don't we just vote out Andy? We still have the numbers over Genevieve and Sam after this. You know what I'm saying? I thought that we were hearing I thought we were going to see, my master plan. I've got all this. It's all worked out. Andy, you're out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I thought we were going toward.
I was just going to say the same thing. Like, that right there is exactly how you stuff any kind of nonsense going on their behalf. You come up with that plan ahead of time, even though you say, oh, we got this 5. Realistically, all you need is a 4 right there. And then
You need 3. You don't even need 5. You need 3. You've got 2 of your own you can vote off.
Exactly. So you act like you're playing, or you're going to vote out Genevieve, or you're going to vote out Sam, whichever one you prefer. Make them all think that just because Andy is now the unknown. And then if they play any kind of idol, they're not going to play it on Andy. If anything, it'll be Sam or Genevieve, and you let them think that, and you vote out Andy, and then boom, you've got the 4 against the 2 the rest of the way. The only other thing, too, is as much as we gave Rachel her flowers last week, I cannot believe she did not use the steal a vote. I think she got too confident. And I know we're going to get there, but a lot of things had to go right for this plan to work out. And I know in the moment, Sam, Andy, and Genevieve didn't think it was a good thing. But Rachel winning immunity was the best thing that could have happened to them, because it gave her the comfort to know that, well, I'm saved no matter what, so I might as well save my advantage in my idol. If she wasn't there, she probably would have got spooked, because she would have thought it could be her, and she would have played something and would disrupt this whole thing. So I think it was a godsend. That's why I say Andy has an angel on his shoulder, because like that was like a godsend that they didn't realize at the time, that I think is huge now. And the fact that she didn't play it was cocky in a small part, in my opinion, because she felt safe and she didn't need to waste her stuff. But I think it might bite her in the ass because she didn't.
Well, very, very well said. So now we see a clip where Genevieve is talking to Teeny about Rachel's game. Like, Genevieve is like, look, I'm giving props to Rachel. She's played like a flawless, tactical game, a game that I wish that I could have played. And Teeny's really like kind of offended by that. Like, wow, like aren't I playing this great game? Which I do think Teeny's playing a great game.
Different.
It is a
different game.
It's a different game. Genevieve is laying it on thick, and because Genevieve is like, look, I realize I'm perceived right now as someone who like doesn't have a lot of emotional connections with people, but she's also like fighting for her life because she knows that like she's been on the chopping block. So why not kind of just throw it out? Like, look, if Rachel goes, I'm probably going to vote for Rachel over you, Teeny, because Rachel's playing like a kick-ass game. And this is what we said before, is like, this is Rachel's game to lose. If Rachel makes it to the end, she can win the game. She's a great player. But tonight, that just takes one mistake of, like you said, Wayne, being a little bit too cocky, or maybe with the idol that, man, this might be not looking good for Rachel.
In the interest of conversation, because I kind of disagree with Teeny playing a great game. So my question would be, what has Teeny done?
Well, I think
Teeny's been. So I'll just say that I think she's been a character. Yes. I think she's been a more likable Rome, and I don't think she's really been a part of a maneuver that's really pushed the game further outside of she's a part of an alliance of things. Like, she kind of gets brought in. She's not the driver. That's what I see, but I'd like to be. I love Teeny. That doesn't take anything away from Teeny. But to say, like, yeah, of course I'm going to vote for Rachel over Teeny. I could point to 3 things that Rachel has driven through the game. And also, by the way, she's got these 2 advantages you don't know about. And also, by the way, she has won 1 on her way to winning 2 immunity challenges.
Very fair point. I think I'm just so caught up in Teeny's likability versus her like gameplay that's up to like Rachel's level. Because like if we talk about Australian Survivor, I love Luke Toki, likable guy. He's the ultimate. I would love to go hang out with Luke Toki tomorrow night at the Comet, your bar, Wayne.
Yeah,
but if I'm comparing Luke Toki to the fucking Golden God,
right,
it's kind of like comparing Teeny to Rachel. Rachel is superior, but I love Teeny, and I love that we've seen, you know, a couple episodes ago, like one of the best confessionals and moments of this season was this, you know, moment Teeny had. I think Teeny's had these great moments, and she is so likable. But yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Wayne.
Her great moments have been a lot in confessionals. Her great moments haven't been on the island. Her great moments have been on our television, which is great for us. Again, love Teeny. So glad that Teeny's on this show and cast on this show and a character on the island in this show. But
yeah,
it's this new era is not going to give a winner because they like them. That's not. I mean, if for some reason it went to final two and it's Teeny and Andy up at the end, I think Andy wins. I think Andy probably wins most of the votes except for one or two bitter no votes on Andy. Like they're just going to vote for somebody that's not Andy.
I think tonight we saw Teeny go from a potential winner because of her likability and everyone loves her to almost the easiest final three goats. And that's not a knock on her. I think she's wonderful. I think people love her. I think that she was great for the show, like you guys said. She keeps getting duped, and she's getting duped almost every episode now to a point where you have no say in the game. People don't let you control any part of the game, and you're getting dragged to the end because people know they can beat you because you keep getting duped. So, not a knock on her personally. Think she's wonderful. I don't think there's any chance Teeny wins this game. I think she tonight showed how she became even the bigger goat than, maybe she was before. And I think that for Teeny, she has no sway because she has nothing that in her back pocket to even cause a rift in anyone's plans. She doesn't have an idol. She doesn't have an advantage. She has really no one, and she's keeping Genevieve alive for whatever reason, even though she harbors these feelings against Genevieve, yet she still wants Genevieve around and wants to get rid of Sam. Like, there's just part of her that I don't think can play this game cutthroat, which you need to, especially at this point of the game. And when you keep getting duped and we keep seeing it time after time, they just won't give you the $1 million.
Well, I think the Sam is, some people are going to hate her like this, whatever. I think she just doesn't want people like Sam around. I think Teeny has lived her life probably not feeling comfortable around many men that look like Sam, not act like Sam. They aren't Sam. I'm not saying Sam is this person, but I'm saying like, Teeny's probably been around and been affected in ways by people that act and look like, or that, look like Sam. And that probably is negatively affecting her and why she's so focused on Sam, because she's pushed this all female alliance. It's clear she's very comforted by females and wants to be surrounded by females and believes in the empowerment of females that we all believe. But I think that probably drove that Sam over Genevieve thing for Teeny. And I think that this episode showed Teeny's kind of, hey, you're going to be this likable, everybody likes me, hopefully that I win because everybody likes me. But then when Sam doesn't pick you on the reward and you go back and spend the whole time just complaining to the other three people, those other three people are seeing you not be likable Teeny, just talk relentless shit about somebody Teeny. And that's not the character Teeny's been playing this whole game.
Man, that's why podcasting with you guys is the perspective and listening to what you're saying. It's like spot on, and yeah, it's everything you guys have said is probably what's gonna fucking go down. But we also see after Genevieve is talking about the flawless game that Rachel's playing. Rachel in a confessional says, "I'm not too concerned right now about things. Like, I'm not really worried. Like, I feel good. I feel locked and loaded." And her confidence is up. And I think when you get too confident, like you were saying, Bobby, with her immunity necklace that she won tonight, that is why she was blinded to not play her advantages in this scenario. So then we go to the reward challenge. It's, a race over some obstacles, retrieve some balls from a net tunnel. Eventually
retrieve these balls from a net tunnel.
Right. And land two balls up on like an upper perch, like playing basketball.
You can land my two balls on an upper perch. All right. Hey.
There you go. Oh, this is where Johnny was hearing me saying something about pegging or some shit. But
we got Jeff Probst here.
Oh, dude. But this is a fun challenge. It's for Italian food, red wine, a total feast, and it is for the most important thing of all, which is letters from home, which is always. I love the family visit. I really miss that. I wish they would bring that back out of anything. But having these letters from home is cool, and so it made it for a fun reward.
Why was Sue covering her ears? Did I miss that? Did they explain that? Did anyone talk about that? Or is that just like when Jeff was like talking about the reward, Sue was like covering her ears and he like said what it was. And then she uncovered her ears and then he was like, pasta and blah, blah. And she like went back to recover her ears. And I was wondering, and if no one knows, why do you think she was covering her ears?
She was probably just like, "Oh, stop! I don't want to hear it anymore. Let's just get to the challenge."
I'm definitely not going to win, so I don't want to hear what I'm not going to win.
Yeah, probably so.
I have no idea.
But yeah, great. I mean, from a reward standpoint, this is a pretty damn good reward.
This is great.
And the challenge is like not that it's like they make it to where anyone can kind of win.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I don't know about you guys, but if I had the balls in my hand, I would throw it up on the perch granny style. I would not be shooting like a basketball. I would think I would lob them up gently. How would you guys play that out?
So, two things is. It is fair and even until you get to that pushing the balls underneath the net. When you got to crawl under, that is like a pain and strength. That's like a pain tolerance and strength because everything's scratching. So like Rachel's just like able to just power through it, and Sam just has that strength. But that's like way harder than it looks. But also, it's all about the backspin. Those types of like carnival style games, Rachel actually played it perfectly by going for the higher perch first and like not going like she played it to beat Sam like by going for the harder one. She's like, I need more strength to get higher first and then come down to the lower one when I've exhausted my strength trying to get to the higher one. Like that's how smart she is. Everybody else is going lower perch first and then the higher perch. But Rachel's like, no. More strength to get up first.
If you want to win this challenge, you've got to caress the balls. You've got to flaunt the balls and go for the bigger perch because that's what everyone wants. Every guy wants the bigger perch first.
That's right. I love
it. There's so many innuendos.
I'm going to break the fourth wall. I don't really think that's what that means, but you guys, you watch it live, right? So I never watch it live except for now that we're doing the podcast right after.
Yeah.
So I get to watch all of the commercials. And I've loved every week they have the casts of Ghosts, a show that I could give two shits about. Yeah. And I have no interest in watching, no matter how many ads I've seen for this show. The whole concept is like, I don't care. I don't want to watch this at all. Yeah. And they're sitting there and like, talking about Jeff's catchphrases. And then the one girl goes like, fresh, crisp Caesar salads. They're like, that's not one of his catchphrases. And they cut to this episode and they said the one cringiest line that he said. And I was like, all right, Ghosts, I see you. Maybe I'll watch your show. All right, let me check out what this Ghost at CBS's #1 hit comedy. It's got to be funny. They fucking roasted Jeff.
I feel exactly the same as you. Every single time I'm like, oh, okay, this is one of those cool little Ghost segments. I'll watch this. Like, I watch that little 30-second thing, and I find each one of them like, oh, that's pretty good. And I'm like you, I could give two shits about this show. I've never seen a fucking episode in my life. I don't. Everything about it is probably something I would never want to watch. But I'm always entertained by their little thing. The whole thing in the back of my head is like, these bitches are fucking spoiled on the season. They probably recorded it months ago.
Yeah, they already know
everything about it.
They know everything. How have spoilers not gotten out? Good on you, cast of Ghosts.
Who knew that the little Ghosts little promos would be talked about on the podcast? That is hilarious. But tonight especially was funny as shit.
Are there any ghosts podcasts? Because we should start a ghosts podcast.
I think we just made one.
Dude. So Sam wins, and here's the beautiful part. You get to spend the night with pillows and blankets and comfort, along with food, along with your loved one letters. So this is huge. So everyone is getting emotional because they know that Sam could pick them to join him on this reward. And man, if I was out there and I knew that I had a chance to get letters from my children and my wife and my parents, that would be so huge for me. So I realized that, everyone getting emotional is normal. And when Andy gets picked, he seems totally shocked. What did you think about Sam picking Andy as the pick?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, it's hard to talk about it because we see how it all plays out. That's one of those things where it's like, but like when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that's how this goes. Because they were tight. And Andy, as cool as a cucumber as he thinks he's being, still has that like, oh, Sam likes me. Like Sam, and I've been where Andy is, where you feel like not a lot of people like you. You feel like you're getting made fun of a lot. Part of that's mental health. Part of that's real. That happened to, it happened to me, where you feel the world coming down on you, and you see this guy who seems like this cool, likable guy, and just like being a person to you, and you're like, oh my God, like that's, oh, so cool. So like that was and when I saw that, I was like, dang, motherfucker, Sam, you figured it out. You like, you did it, dude. You goddamn did it. So excuse the cursing. I know we're not at SFW, but I was just like, that's it. That's going to mean so much, isn't it? And it did. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? Like, this worked out so perfectly for Sam. He couldn't have asked for a better situation. Like that, the fact that they had all night to come up with a plan to make something work. Like it was literally the best two people he could pick and the best situation for the challenge, the reward. At the time, I was thinking to myself, okay, he should pick Sue and Teeny. Like Sue and Teeny would be a great, you got someone from Lavo, you got someone from I forget the Yellow Tribe's name, because of Sam, and then you got yeah, there you go. And I forget them. Once we're gone with them, they're out of my head. And then you got Sue from the Blue Tribe. So you got one from each. I'm trying to make him happy. Try to use the sway, whatever. When he picked Andy and Genevieve, I was like, oh, that was kind of stupid. Little did I know that was the best thing he could have ever fucking done. Now I do want to say one thing. Excuse me, pre having a child and a wife, I could give two shits about the family visit and all that. I gave no care in the world. I said every single time that episode came on, I was like, oh God, here we go again. Like, it's kind of cool. You get to see who their loved one is that they've been talking about, but it's a 60-minute episode and we got 45 of it just covering, oh, come over here and give me a hug. I just kind of hated it. Having a child completely changes you, where I can put myself on the island and even just getting a letter in my daughter's handwriting, I would lose my shit. I would be bawling like a baby. Yeah, right there. Exactly.
I'm on the island and I get something like this, and I'm an uncontrollable mess for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm for the listeners, I'm showing a picture of my daughter who drew her own hand and wrote her name, and this is the first time that she wrote her name.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That just like it gets you, and like, and it just shows like when you're a 20-something-year-old guy like Sam. Yeah, it's great to get a letter from your brother telling you that he's proud of you and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a dad and a husband and you get this letter or anything that just basically can give you something like that, something that Wayne just showed that just gives you a glimpse of home and like how big they're getting and how much they've grown and all that, I would be a weeping mess. So I used to hate, for a guy who was a big hater of the family visit, thought it was the dumbest thing. I've been saying since the new era started, bring back the family visit. I want it. Oh my God, this is the best thing that they could bring back. Sure, the auction's great, but they need the family members out there. So I'm a change man.
That's awesome.
The family visit is coming for 50.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have it for 50.
I think so.
Yeah, I miss it. And when you watch Survivor, the Australian version of Survivor, and you see like the family getting to like come to the final immunity challenge, to watch it go. I mean, yeah. When I got voted out on Survivor Caramoan, I went to Malaysia. I was part of the pre-jury, unfortunately, but I got to go to Malaysia on a vacation of a lifetime. And we were sitting around one time at dinner, and one of our handlers, Billy was his name, he's like, by the way, tonight when you guys go back to your hotel, you'll have all your letters from home. So we went fucking bananas, and when I got to go back and see, I have them upstairs. I have a couple Rubbermaid tubs with all my Survivor shit. Dude, I was sobbing reading my wife's letter and little drawings from my kids and my mom and my mother and father-in-law and my brother. It's fucking crazy. You don't think that if you're gone for just like a couple weeks or a month that it's a big deal, but Survivor is so gnarly and such a unique experience that only 500 people ever have experienced in American Survivor, however many casts. It's fucking gnarly, dude. And so when you're like Teeny or Sue, the people that don't get picked, it's a fucking huge deal. So Sam is like, look, I'm picking these people, and I was like you, Bobby. When he first picked the people, I was like, yeah, this is not a great idea. But then I'm like, dude, what was their little group called? The Italian?
Oh, Operation Italy.
Yeah, Operation Italy.
How do you not call it the Italian Job? How do you not call it the Italian Job? How is this not called the Italian Job? And we're not driving little Mini Coopers around the canals of Los Angeles or whatever they said Venice was.
I'll tell you why. Here's why. Because Sam didn't even know what tiramisu dessert or eating kiwi has been. He's not going to know shit about any fucking movie that there is. So, Project Italy or whatever the fuck they're talking about. It was cool. So we see them at the reward, reading their letters and kind of reflecting on things. And yeah, I may have shed a tear or two. But then you see, back at the camp that didn't get the reward, Teeny is pissed. She's still throwing a hissy fit that she didn't get picked. And this is, again, like you guys were saying, Teeny cementing her game as like, oh man, like, I don't know if things are going to work out for you.
I actually have a clip of that. Let's play Teeny freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Clips.
Sam's gonna come back and be like, it was good, like, we had pasta, and, I'm sorry, guys. It was a really rough spot to be in. I hope you get it. Like, me and Genevieve are just, like, on the bottom.
Ugh, dude. That's so funny.
That was, like, preceded by, like, this is the worst thing for his game. And it's like, but why would bringing you and Sue, why would bringing you be better for his game? That's what she wasn't saying it was worse. It was the worst thing that she brought Andy and Genevieve. The worst move was that he didn't bring Teeny. And that's where Teeny kind of showed her like hand a little bit. Cause it was all Teeny should have gone. Not one of us or two of us. Why not try and sway us? She kept saying, I should have gone. And I want to know, why should you have gone?
Yeah, I think for Teeny, she came off very bitter. And like, we love Teeny. Everyone says very good things about Teeny. I didn't think this showed Teeny in a very good light. And I think that she should have been more, and I get it. It's different when you're out there, you're starving, you hear about family, all this stuff. I totally understand that. I'm not blaming Teeny for how she acted. We've seen people act a lot worse. But I do think that some of the things that she said, especially about Sam and being like, he's been probably the prom king and all this stuff. I don't feel like that's a fair judgment on Sam. Like, Sam was in a tough situation. He made a call and he did it. All of you could have been in that position, but you didn't win. So you can't be mad at the guy for the decision he made. And at the end of the day, I think taking personal shots because maybe that's the type of person that's hurt you in the past or that you don't necessarily see eye to eye with, that's fine. But you can't just put him in that box, just like we wouldn't put you in a box. You think about how someone else would put you in the box and how you would feel. That's the one part of Teeny that I was kind of like, I didn't like that, Teeny. I didn't think that was a fair assessment just because you didn't get your way.
Yeah, I kind of wish that part was edited out. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think it's exactly how Teeny would probably speak the same today, to give Teeny the credit of that. Very hurt. One of those letters from home. But I agree, like, saying all this stuff, like probably the prom king, making fun of him, like, the pasta, that was funny. It's like, I could see Sam, that was really funny, but like saying all this other stuff just because of his looks, like, and honestly, it was all based on how he's looked, because he hasn't like shown a lot this game, because he hasn't had a chance, because he's been on the bottom most of the time.
Yeah, I don't look at, for me, you always have like the cool kids, and like he's the quarterback jock guy that might have like made fun of like Teeny in high school or something, but honestly, like, Sam does not seem to be like the douchebag that Teeny might be perceiving him as. Like, I actually like Sam, and I do feel that if Teeny and Sam were at my house tonight, that Teeny would be like, Sam, you fucking rule. I got you all wrong.
Yeah.
And I really think that's what's going to happen. I just think in the moment, you kind of have all this shit. And like you said, you're starved. You're not sleeping and shit. But yeah, one thing I want to say that I love is Andy, when he's reading his letters, I want to touch on this. Like, he's like, my mom is such a huge super fan of this show. And like,
Pam.
I love the fact that this means so much to Andy and his family. This means so much to Teeny and her family. And these are players that actually give a shit about Survivor and the game. And as we've seen all season, the majority of the people that get voted out are devastated by their exit. And so this is why I feel like Survivor 47 is finally the best season of the new era, in my opinion.
Did part of you think that they were going to show a picture of Pam when they showed Andy reading the letter? Like, dude. I thought of all the people, they were going to show Pam because she was a super fan. I was waiting for it, and it never came. But I was like, damn it, I want to see Pam. I want to see this moment.
I mean, we're all parents, right? I know you guys have little ones and whatnot, and I have teenagers. But, like, the thought of, like, how much I love my boys, and if I were to, like, see them play Survivor would be, like, the fucking ultimate, dude.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? So the fact that Andy's mom is getting to, like, live this dream out through her son, and Andy is lovable. I absolutely love it. I also love here where we see Genevieve talking about, look, in my normal life, I have a lot of friends, and I have kind of ignored that part of me to just play straight gameplay. And she's realizing that that's maybe not the best plan of action. She's questioning that. And then on the opposite side of that, you have Teeny, who's played such an emotional game of loving people and all that stuff, that she's having a battle that I shouldn't be as emotional. I should play more like Genevieve. And that's what you can relate to when you watch this. You can look at your TV and be like, man, like, that's how I would play, or that's how I wouldn't play. And that's like the beauty of Survivor and casting and whatever. So, anyways.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, everyone's, this has been a kind of an emotional episode. So back at camp, though, Teeny is like, look, Sam just quit the game. He's got a nail in his coffin. he fucked up. He did not pick me, and he is gone. Which is kind of like when I'm watching that, I'm like, you know what? I don't think that's truly the case. It's like Sam actually did the best possible scenario that they could have done because they have this whole plan now of going back to the 4. Andy wakes up, the next day after their overnight little deal, and he's like, look, I have this idea. I want to make some big moves, and this is the time. So I love this moment when Andy is like proposing the plan that they end up doing. What do you guys think of that?
Go ahead, Wayne.
I mean, I love it. It's exactly what Survivor needs to be. It's like, it's not, I don't think Andy's going to get a lot of hate. I know they mentioned Saul saying like he flipped again. It's like, yeah, that's what Survivor is. It's not flipping. It's using the numbers that are available to get yourself further along in the game. That's not flipping. That's, oh, Sam brought me on this thing. We worked out this plan. It's going to work as long as you guys believe me. You believed me. I'm not flipping. I'm executing another plan. And guess what? Next week might be a different plan. Maybe Sam's gone next week. Hey, Teeny, you know what? I'm really sorry. Let's get Sam out. Let's go on. Let's move on to the final 5. And then after that, hey, guy, that's how it's every week's, every vote's a new vote. It's a whole new thing. There, you've got your alliances, you've got people you trust, and that's kind of why the alliances happen, because you trust them, and so you trust their vote falls the same way. But if people continue to keep changing, then it makes it interesting, when it's not this just like down the line, let's get rid of Sam, let's get rid of Genevieve, and then we'll fight it out at the final 5, where Rachel ends up taking the 2 people that she's going to win with to the final 3.
Yeah, I got another clip I'm going to play right here from that moment, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit for you guys.
We have to milk the time that we have on the sanctuary to put together a very difficult mission. Yeah. This is not simple. Well, it's going to require thorough planning, a lot of stealth, and just pure execution.
So to break that all down, I thought Andy being in charge of this really was the key moment of Andy's game. And we've seen moments of Andy being very smart strategically. Don't get me wrong. We see it when he's talking in confessional, where we're like, damn, Andy knows what the hell he's talking about. Even when they're making fun of him for his, 6.2%, whatever it may be, he's still making sense, and he's thinking about this game strategically. Now, he also has to make up for the strategically by also playing emotionally, where people have a valid connection with you. Because if you don't have that and you're just an X's and O's guy, you're never going to win this game, because people will just see you as a strategic mastermind. But to go back on that, I think Andy's done very well because he positioned himself early as a vulnerable character. Now, it could have backfired in his face. He could have been the first one gone. But he put himself in a situation, strategic or not, where people realize, okay, this guy is not going to probably win. We can drag him a little bit to the end and get an easy win out of him, while at the same time working his magic throughout the season. We saw it when he turned on the girls at the Yellow Beach. We saw it when he was talking about voting against Sam and their alliance.
Sarah,
and now we see it here. There have been moments of absolute brilliance and strategic genius, in my opinion, of Andy. And now they're starting to figure it out. Now the jury, I'm glad the jury, we see that moment of the jury and be like, that was Andy. Andy flipped. And I'll play that clip later. They're finally realizing, okay, yes, he is a flip-flopper. But like Wayne said, flip-flopping isn't always a bad thing. Flip-flopping is bad when you do it 1 or 2 times and it screws over people you've been working with, and then they have a bad taste in their mouth. Flipping for personal gain and strategically, when you're not in a position of power, is the best thing you could do for your game. And it doesn't allow you to get dragged to the end to lose in the end. You have to, in that moment, when you're in a position where you have no say, no one's listening to you, and you're vulnerable, work with the other people on the bottom and shake shit up, because otherwise you're just going to be dragged. And Andy's doing it flawlessly.
Yeah, goats will never win. Goats will never win. Goats will never win. So if you're one of those people that's just Caroline, I'm sorry, Caroline. You were getting goated the whole time. You and Sue were 2 votes that were loyal to whomever you were working with. And that's how you played it. And that's not going to win you the game. And even doing that and be like, we'll make our move later. That's kind of what's happened with Teeny. I think Teeny probably came in wanting to make a move. And Teeny's been duped enough times. And you play this likable game and then you make one big move. And you can kind of get your way to the end with a vote or two, maybe even win, depending on who's there with you. But you get past that time when your move's going to get made, and now you've turned into a goat, kind of whether you like it or not.
Yep.
So what I love about this is their execution of this Operation Italy. We see Genevieve making this fake idol, and then everyone has to play their part when they go back to camp, right? You have to have all these pieces in place, and I'm thinking to myself, is there any way this is going to freaking work out? Which that's why this is, to me, like one of the greatest episodes of the season. Andy comes back, he's down playing the reward, like, yeah, they tried to wine and dine me, and then he's like, talking about how he's afraid of maybe does Genevieve have an idol, which just starts causing paranoia, and then like talking about splitting the votes and stuff. And so Andy feels like, look, I think everyone's believing me. If I'm the people there, I said this before, I don't know if I would have believed Andy's plan. And he was really kind of pushing his agenda very strong. We need to split the vote, and I'm really afraid of this idol. I was like, this is blatantly obvious. Andy's going to get totally called out, and Andy's going to like get voted out this episode.
I'll be honest. The only person that surprises me that didn't suss it out was Rachel. And I only feel like she didn't is because she didn't need to. This episode, I think that's the only reason she didn't. I think that to Rachel, she was watching 4 of her potentially final 2 argue about nothing that didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I perceived it. And I feel like Caroline and Sue and Teeny and we get to play the game. We got split votes, maybe an idol. Yeah. Wow. We finally, it's not as easy as a vote as everybody thinks. Maybe this is a move I can make. We split, I helped orchestrate where the vote split or whatever. That's kind of, you're getting a chance to do it. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Rachel was looking at it like, if it's going to backfire on anyone, it's going to backfire on these other 3, because no matter what, I'm safe. Yeah. So why don't I save my advantages until it affects me personally? And I don't blame her for that. I totally get it. It makes reasonable sense. But if you're going to stay on top and not let others take advantage and push their agenda and push themselves to the forefront of winner contention, you have to also play things in a situation where you think that you could get duped. And maybe she thought it was lockstep, but like Matt said, I think Matt brings up a great point. I would be very wary of the guy that just spent overnight with these 2 people fighting, tooth and claw to save themselves. Like, I'd be not wanting to follow his agenda, but follow our own. And don't get me wrong, Andy's plan was absolutely genius. And I think it made sense to them, and it made sense to me as the viewer, being like, oh, that makes complete sense why they would do that. I totally understand that. And they got very lucky with a few things going right. But all you have to do, Rachel, all you have to do is play the steal a vote, and everything in that plan is wiped clean, and you're safe no matter what with your agenda. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, unbelievable. So we do go to the immunity challenge. It's day 22. It's balance, dexterity, and touch. There's a balance beam. You have to walk across, kind of paying homage to the holding the little platform and balancing the ball on the balance beam. And then you have to like kind of use these, this, I don't know what you call it, move some skulls around. And then finally land one ball over this little wooden track. You have to land 3 balls in these little dimples that are in this contraption that they have, which I'm sure Perplexer's Puzzles is going to have something similar to this probably this week's, because I have a lot of those imitation Survivor puzzles that are awesome. But Rachel ends up winning. I could tell immediately when she got the first ball. You could tell no one else had figured it out. And once you figure out the finesse of how you have to move that board, you could do things easily. When I have these like replica puzzles, I have some that have like these little silver marbles, and I can sit on my patio and do them first try every time. It's just the delicate nature of how you have to move the stuff. And so you saw everyone else get frustrated. These are big, giant, stuff made out of plywood and whatever. People are dropping the whole deal. But as soon as Rachel kind of got one, I'm like, she figured it out. Rachel wins. Go ahead.
There's 2 things about this challenge.
Yes.
The skull moving was cool. I'd never seen something like that on a Survivor. That was a new thing.
Yes.
That was really neat. Also, I used to do this thing where we had like American Survivor, but make an Australian Survivor. When they were like, make it 3 out of the 5. It's like, no. 5 out of 5, dog. 5, like,
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
No, 3 out of 5. Like, no way.
Right.
It should be 5 out of 5. Make them sit there, bake in the sun, and get this shit. I want to see someone get 4 and then knock all
yeah.
5 off.
Yeah.
Like I don't want this 3 out of 5. That's way too easy. You got to get them all, or none, or just put 3 holes on there. That's all. That's
Yeah.
it. Put as many holes as you get.
What's
Yeah.
the point of having 5 if you only need 3?
Right. Because they timed it out and they were like, oh man, we're gonna be here for like 7 hours if we have to do 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Now, part of me also is like, I kind of tune out during the challenges. Like, I only start paying attention in the last 30 seconds when someone's close to winning. And I know there's really nothing Survivor can do about that. Like, that's just how it is. Some people only tune in for the challenges. Some people are all about the challenges, and that's what they live for. For me personally, I'd much rather watch an endurance challenge than I would one of these type of challenges. Like the endurance challenge where you have a Christian Hibicki talking to Jeff about just anything and everything for 3 hours. Like, that's entertainment. This is just kind of like, all right, well, let me go grab a beer. Let me go use the restroom real quick. I'll come back and we'll find out who the winner was.
Yeah.
Like, I just tune out.
Especially on top of the reward challenge that for me was interchangeable. I mean,
It was the same thing.
The reward challenge was easier, required a little less work or whatever. But otherwise, to me as the viewer, it's like, oh, you had 2 of the same challenges. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No,
How do you feel,
totally
Matt? As someone who's played, how do you feel?
No, I totally agree with that. Especially as a fan, this deep into the game, when there's like this few people left, I want to see I'm holding something and last person standing. It just makes for a more dramatic ending. This, like I said, was, to me, the second the editor showed Rachel's face and getting that first one, I'm like, she's got it in the bag. Because Jeff was like, once you figure this out, it could go super quick. And that was like foreshadowing like Rachel's winning. So that kind of made it just kind of like, eh. But it did throw a wrench in the plans of Operation Italy, right? Because Rachel was going to be their target. So, look, Genevieve is like, look, that's not great, but there are options. And then Andy is talking to the 4 people that he's supposedly in an alliance with about splitting the vote. And this is where Andy is coming off so strong about the splitting the vote. Does Genevieve had an idol? I said, I was looking at my wife. I'm like, man, is he blowing this? Because they've done such a great job thus far with their fucking acting skills. Is Andy going to blow it up? Because I could easily see Andy blowing this shit up and Andy going home. But no, he's, doing great. I mean, Teeny is so hell-bent on wanting Sam. She walks up to Sam and Genevieve. Teeny does. Genevieve shows Teeny like a small glimpse of the idol. And luckily, Andy is walking up as she does this. So it's like a perfect timing. This is like perfection of things happening for their plan to look legit.
I have that clip too if you want to see it.
Let's see it.
Show it to her to have her believe it, but I can't show it to her too long because then she'll know it's a fake.
Someone's coming. Oh, let me go over.
Okay, no, we have to move.
I flash this idol, and then thank God Andy's coming around the corner.
I mean, that
Perfect.
couldn't have gone any better, because this is showing Teeny. She's like looking at it, but this situation happened so quickly that Teeny is completely believing that Genevieve has this real idol. So talk about a lot of things that have to fall into place for their Operation Italy plan to work. That's why it was so unbelievably cool that we finally see a plan and a reward so well thought out, and the planets align to where they can freaking execute it. I thought it was brilliant on the editors, and as a viewer, I was like totally satisfied.
Yep.
And there's one other thing I want to show a clip of just while we're here. This is the moment in my head I felt like, okay, Andy, you're at the top of your game, and this plan's probably going to work. I don't know how, and I don't know if, but my heart is telling me this plan's going to work because they showed this.
Things fell into place perfectly for me to be on the top split. It has, and it's, yeah, on that split, which is exactly what we wanted to. So I say we get Caroline. I agree. That's what my gut tells me. I'm the mafia boss. I'm the architect of Operation Italy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Dude,
Right there.
Andy rules. I'm just going to say any kind of shit I talked at the first 2 episodes about Andy, I'm taking back. I love Andy. Andy has become one of my favorite characters of this entire season. And wow, just great gameplay, and just, yeah, he's not just a dumb buffoon that everyone fucking thought he was. Like, he's actually doing stuff, and if he goes to the end, if I'm on the jury, I mean, I would think there's people that are going
It's hard to not vote for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back on what I said last week, how I said, oh, we all know someone's coming back for 50 from this season, and everyone thinks it's Rome. And I said, oh, it should be Rachel. She's playing a great game. I'm going to say it. The best character of the whole season has to be Andy. Is it not? Is it not Andy from start to finish to where we're at now? The archetype, the story arc, like all the flowers to Rome. He was great TV, and it's probably still going to be Rome. Let's be real. And great stuff by Rachel. Don't get me wrong. No one brings us what Andy brings us. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I agree. We've seen a lot of, I mean, Andy is great. He's one of the most memorable players I've seen in a long time. Because as we podcast about this, there's so many people I forget about, and I'm not going to forget about Andy.
No.
I'm not going to forget about Rome. I feel like Rachel could win the show if she makes it a couple more, well, there's only 2 episodes left, but she can make it a couple more votes. Rachel is a great player, but it just takes one bad mistake for her to get voted out. I mean, she does still have an idol and that block a vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's won immunity before, so she's in a great spot. But yeah, Andy is killer, and I love him. I mean, we see a clip where Caroline, Jonny has said he is not a fan of this. She goes through Genevieve's bag to see if there truly is an idol.
Mm-hmm.
We also see Sue saying, I love you, Caroline. I will give you, or I'll play my idol for you if I feel that's necessary, which obviously does not happen, which I'm surprised at, because I guess Operation Italy was so believable that people just decided we're not going to play our idols, advantages, or whatever. but people are kind of stupid because they when it comes to tribal council, there's a lot of confused ass people going on. But yeah, Rachel, she's not even talking about splitting the vote. Genevieve, look, say there's more ways to go wrong than right. So Genevieve doesn't have a lot of confidence going into tribal that Operation Italy is going to happen. So as a viewer, you're like, dude, like, are they going to pull this off? Like, what is Andy's like mathematical AI brain percentage of what's going to go down? But going into tribal, dude, already I'm like, this episode is killing. Now, when we go into tribal, are you thinking that Operation Italy is going to pan out? Either one of you guys?
Wayne?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty sure it is. Listen, Sam and Genevieve have no reason to not believe it, and it's all on Andy. And I think Andy's the type of person where he's going with the people showing him the most love, and Genevieve and Sam have shown him a bunch of love, through the reward, and it's going to do this and blah, blah, blah. So, and it doesn't behoove Genevieve and Sam to go to the other four and be like, hey, Andy's doing this shit. We got to get Andy out, because then they're just it just prolongs them one more week. So it's like, yeah, it's all lined up. So is it going to work? It all depends on if the other four split their vote, which they've not given us any indication that they're not going to.
There was only two outcomes tonight. There was two outcomes where they show this the entire episode, where the Operation Italy is such a big thing of this episode, and it's either going to backfire in their face, or it's going to be and make someone look amazing because they were able to suss it out, or, oh my God, Andy's coming to the forefront. Sam and Genevieve did their part. They look great too, and it all goes according to plan. Now, we saw which side of that plan panned out, but going into this, I knew it was going to be one of the two. I had a feeling it was going to be Operation Italy because of the fact of how much they showed and how much they showed the good parts about it. Because they could have made it look like a dodo at it. They could have easily been like, oh, this is the idea, and made Andy look like a dodo like he's looked all season and have it blow up in his face. We didn't get any of that. Because we didn't get the dodo edit, because we didn't get the dodo music, we knew, okay, this is probably going to work. Amazingly enough, this is probably going to work, because why wouldn't they make Andy look stupid if it's going to pan out? So when we get to the tribal council, the only hiccup that I saw and potentially thought, okay, there could be a flaw here, is when we get to the point where they're talking about, oh yeah, those are the three, and this is the four, so why, they were kind of hinting at Andy is part of the three because he went on that, reward. He is now part of the three, so why wouldn't we just us four take over and take control? And Andy kind of had that moment where he had that self-realization. He's like, oh, well, that's interesting, and kind of like acted like he didn't realize that was coming. And in the back of his head, and as the viewers, as we know, Andy definitely saw that coming. That's why he made the move he did.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he portrayed, oh, wow, that's a good idea. And the way that Sam and Genevieve were like, oh, play the idol. Oh, no, I think we're good. I think everything fell in line perfectly, where it could have backfired, but it was so believable that they were able to use it to their advantage.
Well, I thought it was a beautiful episode. Carolyn's totally blindsided. Teeny's dumbfounded. Andy's plan, Operation Italy, has come to fruition, and now it's going to be, wow, this definitely was like a ballsy move on Andy's part, because now people are going to be like, oh shit, you just kind of screwed us over. But so it's going to be like 3 versus 3. However, is Andy going to be able to do damage control and say, let's vote out Sam or Genevieve? He somehow seemed to jump from side to side this season. So I don't know, but I just know that
it's not really 3 versus 3, because Andy and Genevieve and Sam have 0 advantages, and Sue and Rachel have 2 idols and a block a vote. So they could literally dictate, hey, like the next 2 votes, through their advantages, they can just decide who goes home.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
This, like I said, tonight's episode, I was so stoked on it. I was like, this has been like one of the best episodes, like I said, over the past handful that we've covered. Great stuff, and we will be continuing our coverage. Most likely it'll be Wayne, myself, and Bobby Goodsby doing these deals. I know Johnny is going to be at Jax's bar for the finale. So if you're anywhere in the Los Angeles area, Bobby, you will be there.
Yep, I'll be there. Come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi. It's a free event. But yeah, if you've never been to Jax's, go there. King George and a lot of other Survivor alumni will be there. And yeah, thank you everyone for supporting the podcast. Yeah. And if you love Survivor, be sure to tune in to Kelly Wentworth. She has very special guest. Is it a secret guest, Bobby, or is it kind of known who she's having?
I think at this point we can reveal it. Davey will be on from David versus Goliath. Yes. He will be on tomorrow with Kelly, and we will have that posted tomorrow night, Thursday. The 6th or the 5th? I'm losing track of days at this point. Oh, yeah. But we'll have that posted Thursday night for you guys. Kelly Wentworth will sit down with Davey from David vs. Goliath and talk about this episode, talk about the season. Should be a great one. One last thing, guys. I just want to go over it real quick before, as we're getting to the nitty gritty, and we got a 2-part finale. The next 2 weeks. Who do you guys think is going to win it all, and who do you think has no chance? Just quick. What do you guys think?
Oh man. You say Sue's going to win.
I made it tough.
Sue has no chance. Sue has no chance. I just want her to take a damn shower. Please go to Ponderosa and take a shower. Oh, boy. God. Genevieve was my winner pick. So I'm going to stick with Genevieve, even though I don't think possibly she has a chance, but she was my winner pick from day one, so I'm sticking with Genevieve.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm sitting over here and I'm thinking, okay, I think of all of them, I think Teenie has no chance of winning, but probably the greatest chance of making Final 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, they keep showing a lot of Genevieve.
Yeah.
They keep showing a lot of Genevieve. For somebody that is assuming on the bottom, she keeps getting a lot of character development. So I kind of think Genevieve has a pretty good shot. But I think this whole like Rachel being the best player was like when an NBA team peaks too early.
Yeah.
When they like get real good in January and it's like, cool, but that's not April. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's just, so that's kind of what I think.
With Caroline going out, I don't know how Sue wins the game. I'm sticking with my Sue pick. I've got to do it. I gotta roll with it. I said it from the start. I'm not gonna backfire now and just be like, no, that can't happen. My heart wants Andy. My heart is like Team Andy all the way. Yeah. I think I love her to death, but I think Teenie has no chance. I think she's the Final 3 GOAT, no matter who's there. Sue sitting next to Teenie, and all 4 of them could beat her. I don't know how it happens. Let's say Andy's there, and then someone's pissed off, and Sue has so many friends. That's the only way I see it happening. Yeah. Otherwise, the other 3 I think are going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say Andy, Sue, Teenie, Final 3. I don't know how she does it. Sue wins.
Man, I love it. Well, I can't wait. So we're going to see how this all plays out. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in each and every week. And we will see you next week on another episode of season 47 of Survivor on the Reality After Show podcast. Cheers, everybody, and good night.
Bye.